Hey there, welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living and adventure. Welcome along here. It's a super sunny weekend in Otautahi, Christchurch, and I'm feeling really pumped. I've had a big, massive week of work. I don't know if I've told you guys, I don't think I have, but I have recently given notice that I'm going to be cutting down my days at work. So instead of working in total 6 days a week, I will be working 3 days, so I've cut that down from 4, and my other job I'm going to restrict just to 1 day. So I'm moving from 6 days a week down to 4 days a week, and I'm super excited. So I get to kind of kick that off next week. So I'm feeling like in a good mood. I have blocked everything on my YouTube that is negative. You know, you watch a few of, I don't want to be political or anything, but you know, there's a lot of things happening in the world that I don't agree with and that upset me and kind of make me feel like the whole world is rubbish and blah blah blah, you know, it kind of plays into my mood. So I was like, just stop looking at it, that will make things feel better. And I tell you what, it has. So I am here to hopefully spread a little positivity into your weekend, or if you're watching this midweek, you know, maybe save it for the next time you have days off. And I thought, rather than talk about, you know, the negative things, or, you know, cut everything down, whittle it down because the world is so tough at the moment and things are so rubbish, I was like, let's just look at the positives. And if we look at the positives, it definitely makes me feel better anyway, and hopefully it makes you feel a little bit better as well. So I thought today what I'd do is talk about just 5 frugal things I'm doing this weekend. I try and focus on production rather than consumption. So all the things I do for fun, for the most part, no guarantees, but for the most part, are things that provide or produce something useful, either for our household or the environment, rather than consuming. So nothing on my plan is going to involve heading out to a mall and going and buying some new shoes or anything like that. Did I start saying 5 frugal things? I don't know. Maybe it's going to expand. I'm just going to take you guys around with me this weekend, let you know what I'm doing, and maybe there's some ideas in there for you, something that you want to do this weekend. And if I'm feeling really snazzy with the editing tool, I will try and whip back in and show you what I actually produced. Today I'm talking about the plans. Let's see if I can show you what actually happens. So number 1 is knitting. I really want to do some knitting this weekend. I'm going to show you guys what I'm working on. It's something super simple. I am not a good knitter at all, but I can knit because clearly I've knitted something here. What have I knitted? I've knitted a new dishcloth. So number 1 of my frugal things that I'm doing this weekend is knitting some new dishcloths. This is my old dishcloth. You can kind of see it's a little bit see-through now. But this here is 2.5 years old. I knitted these when we were, well, 2 years and 3 months, let's say that, when we were travelling around Southeast Asia for 3.5, 4 months. I took some little knitting patterns that I had printed off and just had a go at trying some new knitting patterns. And I had these little tiny balls of wool. They were, I think, $3 each from something like, it's not called Pete's Emporium, I think that's in Porirua, some kind of emporium here in Otautahi, Christchurch. And I just knitted those and undid them again and knitted them just to try the different patterns. And they've lasted really well. This is obviously quite, I don't know, crispy, because until it gets wet it does go crispy. But of the 3 that I made, 3 or 4, only 1 has gone to holes. But this one here, you can see it's not going to last forever. The great thing about this is it's cotton and it just goes into the worm farm once it's past its use by date. I actually use this as a topper for the worm farm, so rather than like chucking it in with all the food scraps, I use it. It insulates the worms, so, and then eventually it does break down and they eat it, but for now that's what I will do. So I've been working on this little project for a while. This is my last one and I'm going to finish it today, hopefully. I'm almost there, aren't I? But that's cute. So that's I just print this off something online. You know, it's all free to do, so I just print it off and have a go. There we go. First frugal thing. My second frugal thing is going to be an expansion of this. Foraging. Kids and I are going to go out for a forage and find some fruit. I love foraging. It's a really fun thing to do. We don't go anywhere special. We literally just saddle up the dog and go for a wander. And this morning I found there was so many more. I've got a fruit bowl full. That's what I could kind of put in my jersey. I was out for a run. I found these all over the footpath. So I just kind of put them inside my sweatshirt and then had to walk the rest of the way home. We've already had a couple. They're not my favourite peaches, but a peach is a peach, right? And a free peach that was otherwise going to rot on the ground, even better. So we'll go looking. I imagine the things that we might be able to find at this time of year, might find some grapes, might find some pears. But anyway, we'll have a look. This is my first forage, so I've already been out and done a bit of that. Oh, we might also find blackberries. We'll have to wait and see how we go. But I'll show you, if I get organised, what I actually did do. What we actually did manage to get. So forage, that's the other thing I'm going to do. Heaps more foraging this weekend. It's one of my frugal things. I'm going to try a new recipe. Now I've got this big 3 kg bag full of wheat gluten flour, so seitan. Never used it before, no idea really how to use it. I'm going to look that up after I finish this video because I'm planning on having a go with this tonight. This was bought in bulk. Someone I know was buying a whole heap of it. I bought 3 kgs. It's $30, so $10 per kg. Yeah, fingers crossed it works, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I hear it's like what you soak it in is the thing that makes the difference. Yeah, so we're going to have a stir fry tonight, and I'm going to try doing some seitan thing along with that. So it's the protein, right? This is the protein in the meal. So rather than having some meat or tofu, it's going to have seitan. So that's my third thing that I'm going to be doing this weekend, is trying a new recipe. Oh, that's a mission. Don't even know if you can see that, but I'm going to be doing some sewing this weekend. I haven't done some sewing really for ages, but I've got a couple of projects that are taking up space. I've got lots and lots of little bits of material that I've been turning into quilting. I'm just sewing the little bits together, and I want to finish that because I've recently made some bunting and there's lots of leftovers, so I need to kind of tidy up those leftovers. And I also have another project on the go that I'm working with the kids on, and that is creating some nice new winter pajamas. So we have to get on to do those things. Now I have actually bought material for that already, so it's not a cost, it's just an actual I haven't done it thing. What I would suggest though, if you wanted to make some winter pajamas frugally, is go to a second-hand shop and look for really good quality flannelette sheets. Not the ones you get from Briscoe's now. Like the older the sheet, the better, I think, because literally I have some flannelette sheets from when I was a baby. And they are still thick, they are still soft. I use them for my kids and I've put them away. And I'll be using them for my grandkids as well. I think they will always be in our family. It's just that really good kind of winceyette that lasts forever. So if I didn't have any material ready to go for this project, especially for myself, maybe the kids would always just want to go and choose their own material and have it be a pattern they like. For me, I'm a bit more flexible than that. So I would be happy to find a sheet. I might even go out and have a look at the second-hand shop today and see if I can find one. I'm not sure if I'll get there. Got a lot of gardening to do. So that's my next thing. I'm going to do some sewing. I'm not going to spend any money on material because I've already spent it in the past. I'm just going to actually finish that project. So if you're not a sewer, you might have some other kind of project that you can knock off this weekend and kind of cross that off your list of things to do. The next thing I'm going to do is some baking. Or baking slash cooking, I guess. Getting ready for the week ahead. Making sure that there's things in the freezer for the kids, that there's stuff for school lunches, that there are some snacks, because we're a home that doesn't buy a lot of packaged, snacky food. So you won't find any muesli bars, biscuits, chippies, that kind of thing in our cupboard. If you're not onto it and organised, it can be a bit of like what do I give the kids for lunch? And I did have that this week. Work finished at about 11 o'clock. Then by the time, let's just say the official time for finishing is 11 o'clock. By the time you actually get out, it's probably more like 1:15, get my bike, start biking home. By the time I've had a shower, it's about midnight. So I go to bed, and then I woke up the next morning at 7 o'clock, and I thought, oh my goodness, I haven't done any baking for the kids. And whilst I was at work, none of the other 3 people who live in the house had thought about this either. So it was literally what I would term a Chris Luxon special lunch. Like, it was a Marmite sandwich and a piece of fruit. And that went down like, I don't know, a cup of cold sick. It's not 1980. And I don't know, my kids are just not used to eating that. They did not enjoy it at all. But it is what it is. There was food. So this weekend, one of the frugal things I'm going to do is definitely get organised and make sure we have stuff in the cupboard ready to go for the week ahead. I've also seen a couple of good recipes of late. So one recipe I've seen that was really cool, the YouTube channel is called Cheaper Ways New Zealand, and the lady on there, Sarah, is super good at creating nice lunch boxes for her kids without any packaging and from scratch. So there's a recipe that she put out last week that I want to get on and do, and also Stacey from Farmer's Wife Homestead, she was making some better hash browns. They look better than the ones I normally create, so I want to have a go at that. I have been in the garden digging up potatoes this morning, and there's always the odd potato, that you accidentally put the fork through, so that's got to be used straight away rather than, stored for the next few months. So with those potatoes that I've dug up, I'm going to have a go at making Stacey's hash brown recipe. So watch this space. I can only tell you as a spoiler, it's probably never going to turn out as well as hers do. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start splitting some plants. A lot of the plants that I've got are plants that you can take a cutting from. It's not actually this particular plant that I'm going to be doing that from, because I've done that one already. I'll show you. There we go. So that plant here, that was kind of growing some shoots off the bottom. So I chopped them off. I just stuck them in a glass of water until they grew roots. And now I have just recently potted them up there. I really like this plant. I just love its dottiness. Not all of the cuttings that I've taken from this in the past have turned out perfectly. Sometimes they've gone a bit, not quite a nice straight kind of loop of a plant. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing. I've got a big monstera. Well, really big. It's not huge. That's a bit of an exaggeration. But I do have a monstera plant. And I've been waiting for ages for its roots. You know how they grow those kind of roots off the side to come off a side that looks like I could cut it. So I'm going to give that a go at cutting the monstera and seeing if I can grow another plant from it. I like monstera plants, so I might use that for me, or it's also another option for a gift. That's what I'm doing with these. These are going to become gifts, I think, anyway, at this stage. Cool, so that's actually 7 things, right? 7 frugal things I'm doing this weekend that are productive, help me feel positive about the world, and also help our family save money. So we've got, in no particular order, I've got plants. I'm going to split these plants. I'm going to go for a forage. I'm going to do some sewing. I'm going to be finishing off knitting my new dishcloths. Going to be doing some baking, and I'm going to be trying this new recipe using my seitan. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a cracking weekend, a cracking week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye for now.